Alrighty, Hextrix 34 here. We're going to try it again, a little solo stream with a follow-up on the Tanking 101. We talked a little bit the other day with Luna World and I were doing a dungeon about different things with the basic build on the tank, and I wanted to do a little solo to follow up on that so that people can see some of the sets I'm doing, some of the skills that I use. You know, I talked about them in the stream with Luna the other day. So here at my house at the elsewhere house of mine, and I'm doing target dummy stuff. So we got basic stuff here is the build, what we're doing here. I'm going to the inventory to show that up. We got Ebon, we got the 5-piece Ebon set. Ebon you can get out of shoot, I forgot the name of that dungeon all of a sudden. Sorry about that. So I use my 5-piece. So your front bar, I got sword and board. So I use an axe, which is a one hand. You can also use sword, mace, and then you have your regular shield there. Sword and board, typical front build. Sword and board, one hand and shield, however you want to call that. And the back bar there is the restoration staff. I've said it in the stream the other day, it's very atypical. You don't see a lot of tanks run with a restoration staff on their back bar. Most people will run sword and board front and back, or they might use an ice staff on the back, because the ice staff has a taunt, and that's good for the tanks. So we talked about that a little bit, taunting in your 101 that we did the other day. So the Ebon is what I run there, 1 and 2, and those count as 2 together. And then let's see, there's your 3, 4, and 5, the necklace, the rings for my Ebon. And then on my 5-piece armor set, I use the Yolnacrin. Yolnacrin comes out of shoot. Oh, by the way, Ebon is Crypto Hearts. I just remembered. Yolnacrin comes out of one of the trials. I think it's the one with all the dragons in it. I think Yolnacrin is one of the dragons you got to kill, I think. See, I've got those in my 5-piece there and there. And then my shoulders, I use Thorvican. Thorvican comes from Fanglair. I think we just did that one, Fanglair. So that's my head and chest 2-piece. So it's a typical 5-5-2. 5 pieces of one set, 5 pieces of another set, 2 pieces of another, and the 2-piece being the monster set. For those of you not sure what we're talking about, the 5, 5, and 2. If you look here, you get 5 of the same thing. You get a bonus here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At the bottom, you see you get that extra bonus when you have 5 items. So you only have 12 slots. So you do 5 of one set, and then you do 5 of another set, and then with your monster set, you get 2. You get your helms out of the dungeons doing them on vet, and then you get the shoulder pieces out of the chest with the keys that you get from running the dungeons on vet. So we or doing undaunted pledges too. So that's kind of the basic build there. That's Thorvican, Yolnacrin, and Ebon. That's my 5, 5, and 2. All right, and then on my, let's see, my skills, front bar, talked about the stabby thing. I always call it the stabby thing, but it's called Pierce Armor. That comes from my one-hand skill. That is the main taunt that I use. Walk up to the bad guy, stab him, taunt him, make him attack me. So it does some physical damage and it forces him to attack you 15 seconds. But it also applies some debuffs to the bad guy. That means it makes the bad guy either take damage more or not do as much damage, typically speaking. This is minor breach and major breach at the same time, which is one of the few things in the game where you get the minor and the major of the same thing. So it reduces their resistance. Stab the bad guy, it reduces their resistance. That way when your friends attack him, then he takes more damage that way. So anyway, that's also part of the Tanking 101. We talked about taunting and making the bad guy attack you instead of your friends, but also the support role that the tank does. Lowering that guy's resistance makes their damage more effective. So you do 2 at the same time with that one skill. Y'all talk, if you heard me talk about the chains, it's this guy right here. Unrelenting Grip comes from the Dragon Knight skill line. I am an Argonian, that is my race. I am a Dragon Knight, that is my class. And I use the Dragon Knight or DK. I use this right here. This is the chains. So it's just an offensive attack. Throw the chain, hits them, but it's also a taunt, so it's my secondary taunt. You can see right there. And then it also grants me major expedition, move my speed, and then this is the coolest thing about it for me. Y'all heard me talk about spammable if you watched the stream with Luna the other day. If I hit the big guy, and most of the time in the tank you're standing right there with the biggest of the big guys, they can't be pulled. There's some of the people who are immune to that. Then it gives you back the resource cost of casting that skill. In this case, I have it set up that's Magicka. So if I shoot the chain out, I do some damage to the guy, and either it pulls him into me. We're talking about crowd control. That's one of the tank's roles. That if he doesn't come in, I get the resource back, and I'm just doing damage. Plus, he's taunted to me. So that's really cool. Also, it can't be dodged or reflected, which is cool. That's great in PvP too. Let's see, the next one, the Green Dragon Blood. This stuff just makes me tankier. Helps me heal a little bit, and it also gives me major fortitude, endurance, and then minor vitality. So that the Green Dragon Blood comes from the Dragon Knight skill line. It's just part of making me a better tank, so I survive. The crowd control we talked about. The main thing I do is the Talons. It comes out of the Dragon Knight skill tree as well. The Talons come up out of the ground, they grab the people, it immobilizes them a little bit, does some damage as well, and then you've got a debuff as well. So again, we're doing damage, we're doing crowd control, and we're doing a support role here by doing main to the bad guys. That means that they don't do as much damage to us. So I'm helping my other guys and helping myself as well, because whoever they hit, they don't do as much damage. So I'm staying alive and everybody else is staying alive because of that. And it has a synergy. And remember, we talked about the synergy being the YB. For me, it's YB. Y and B for us on Xbox. I run on PC, but I do it through the Xbox Cloud Gaming and use the Xbox controller. So it's a YB. I don't know what that is on other platforms, but you synergize that, and it's called Ignite to the other people. And when I throw down the talent and someone else hits the synergy and Ignite, it does a lot of extra damage. And if you can pull a bunch of people in there at one time, it really does a lot of damage. You can get a mob down pretty quick. So it helps you be able to then move on to the next mob or focus on the boss. So that's a good one. Let's see what's next. Echoing Vigor. It is just basically a heal. You can see it's 11,000, almost 12,000 health. It's a heal over time, but it is a good one, and I can heal myself a little bit. Remember, we talked about in the Tanking 101, one of the most important things for the tank to do is to stay alive. Sometimes your healer is focused on healing the DDs because they don't have as much health as you do. They don't have as much armor as you do. They don't have as much resistance as you do. So they're going to take most of the health. It's coming from the healer sometimes. And you need to be able to sustain. Or sometimes the healer gets killed and one of the DDs is over raising them. You got to heal yourself. Boom, right there. Hit the Echo and Vigor, and I give myself 12,000 almost health over the 16 seconds. It's a heal over time. So my first ulti. And for those of you who don't know what ulti is, that's ultimate. So you have your basic attacks and you have an ultimate attack. For me, this one is the Magma Shell. Again, comes from the Dragon Knight, comes from my class skill line, and it gives me an extra buff to my health and my ability to block damage, as you can see there on the screen. And it also does a shield for nearby allies too. So this is just an extra thing. I'm the tank. Gonna stay alive. I'm gonna do my support role, help my teammates stay alive. So that's in that. So that's my front bar, and then in my back bar where I have my resto staff, you see first thing is my hardened armor. Again, comes from my Dragon Knight skill class skill. Excuse me. There I got little scales, the plates that come out of my back when my character pops them. You can see them; they kind of glow too. So you get major resolve, gives you resistance, a buff. It's really good, almost 6,000 extra resistance for 20 seconds. And then the damage shield, and the damage shield is great because it basically acts like it says as a shield. So when someone whacks you, they hit you for 20,000 damage. Well, 15,000 of that damage doesn't hit you at all, and only 5,000 hits you. So that's what the numbers say on the screen right now. And that fluctuates based on other things in the game. And also it has a rebound attack, so whatever the enemy does to me, it also bounces some of that attack back to them. So that's really cool too. So that's my scales I call them, but it's hardened armor. Let's see, next the igneous weapons. Back to the support role. The igneous weapons comes out of my DK class skills. Basically, I'm just doing extra support to myself and the group. Major brutality and sorcery basically increases the weapon damage and spell damage of everybody in the group for 1.2 minutes. That's a big one if you take extra 20% of your health. So for every 10,000 damage you do, there's an extra free 2,000 damage that you do to the bad guys. That's for you and all your group. So, and you see that it's brutality and sorcery, so it doesn't matter what the builds are, whether you're a martial build or a magicka build, it gets you there. So everybody does more damage, and that's the name of the game, right? Kill the bad guys. Rapid regeneration. This is the healing class. This comes from my restoration staff. Excuse me. And basically that is just a heal. It heals anybody. It's kind of a, I don't think it goes to the person in the group that's close enough to you that has the least amount of their health as a percentage, and it hits them, and you can spam it until you run out of magicka. But it's basically a heal. For me, it's 10,000 almost, which is good because I have 60,000, 55,000 health when I'm going into a dungeon. That's significant. But the DDs that are with me, the healers, might only have 20,000 health, and that's half their health in an instant goes by. It's not an overtime like the other one on the other bar. This is an instant heal, and it does more to the ones that are actually really low health. Taunts, we've talked about how important taunting is as a tank. This is the range taunt that I mentioned when we were running the dungeon with when I was running with Luna the other day. This inner rage, it's the morph of inner fire. I think that comes out of PvP, but I forget. But anyway, it's a range taunt. So again, they're over there, I'm over here. I can't get to him fast enough to stab him, and my chains don't reach. This one, maybe I can reach him. And so you can make someone taunt you. You can taunt them, make them attack you without attacking your friends from far away. So it's a range. It's funny, he just kind of looks like he's spitting, but you hit him, and the guys, and I can do up to 3 allies. They can do the radiate synergy, so that's 2 synergies that I have, and that does a little bit extra flame damage, and other enemies as well. So we don't do the synergy a lot because I don't have to use this one that much, but it's nice to have that because you sometimes are far away from the bad guy and you want to taunt them from over there. And this is the retreating maneuver, which is the morph of rapids. This comes out of PvP. This is just when you're it makes you run faster. Usually if you're on your horse, you get the hell away. It's a PvP thing. I probably will need to replace that at some point in time because I don't do a whole lot with PvP anymore, but that is my back bar anyway. And then my back bar ultimate is the aggressive horn, the war horn morph, and basically it gives you and your group max magicka, max stamina boost for 30 seconds. But you also get major force and helps you critical damage. So that's one of the other ones that the tank support group, everybody got to execute. This is a good one to have. So everybody's execute gets a little extra damage and stacks on top of that execute damage. So when you get a big bad guy down below whatever the execute number is, 10, 7, 8%, whatever it is, this is a good one to put, and everybody does extra damage. Drop all your ultis on a guy. Really good to line that up. We haven't been doing that much. I've been out of the game for a little while. I've kind of forgotten this. But as I'm going through this, I'm learning and remembering things. If you get in your group, if you got a 4-person group, you're doing a dungeon, you're on a big boss, everybody hold the ultis until this is ready, throw the horn out, and then everybody else throw their ultis down. So you're maximizing. So someone else's regular attack does 4,000 damage. You give them an extra 20%, that's an extra 800 damage. But if they throw down an ulti and it hits for 50,000, you do the 10% of that, it's 10,000. That's a huge difference. So it's fun to use that with the ulti. It works, but you can use it at any point in time. So those are my skills, both the front bar and the back bar. I'll show you on my target dummy kind of what that looks like. Yes, and I realize I talk very fast. For me, I would usually go and start before we go into the mob or go to the boss fight with the back bar. There's my scales. That's my hardened armor. That's the igneous weapons that gives everybody else a buff. There's my green dragon blood. There's a stab. That's the taunt. And then I block. And then I cast. And that's my chains, which we've said are spammable. You can see, because my target dummy is an ogre. I mean, he's a big dude, and like the big dudes in the dungeons and the trials, you can't snatch them. Some people, some characters in the game, NPCs, are immune to some of your attacks, and you'll figure that out as you go along. But that's good though. I'm still doing damage. You can see my damage numbers popping up over top of his head. You can see that it's still taunting. You can see the word taunt pop up on the screen. And also, because I can't pull him, I get my resources back. So if you can see that on my screen, my pop-up, my little insert window for myself is blocking that, maybe if you can't see that. So it cost me a couple of thousand magicka, but then because he doesn't pull, I get it right back. So I can stand here and spam this over and over and over again without running down my resources. And so I'm doing some of the things that I'm supposed to do as a tank. 1, do a little bit of damage. 2, taunt. Number 3, manage my resources. And you can see, and I'll back away, I want to show you. So, obviously when you do your shield, you block. Your character throws the shield up. That means you have an active block. And what that means is that somebody's going to hit you. You mitigate some of the incoming damage by pulling your shield up in front of you and blocking. And for me, that's left trigger. If you see when I'm doing that, there's the block animation, but then there's the animation of the chain going out, and so I'm not physically animated as in a block, but look at the space between the bad guy and me. You still see the outline of a shield there. That means the game is recognizing that I have a block active. And so when you hear me talk about block casting, this is what I'm talking about. I am still actively blocking, so when the bad guy hits me, I mitigate incoming damage through my shield, and I am still throwing the offensive attack, which is the chain, which also taunts, at the bad guy. So that's what I talk about. When I talk about block casting, that's what that means right there. And so now obviously this guy's not going to attack back, and you're not going to see a whole bunch of stuff, but that's kind of what I do. That's a 1, that's a 2, that's a 3, 4, 5, and 6 at the same time, and I just keep going over and over and over again. You can see I'm lower on magicka, so my face is covered on the thing. You can see now it's gotten down. I'm redoing it now, but anyways, it's spammable because I get the resources back because I can't pull them to me with the chain. And y'all heard me say it the other day, call it a snatch a bitch. Like you just snatch them and they pull it in, which is cool. So that's kind of the basics of it. Just sort of the follow up on what we were talking about the other day. Other things to think about when you're tanking, besides your skills and how you set those up, and your armor and what you're wearing and things like that. You want to do these other things too. Your food is great. Don't ever forget food. You'll hear us talk about it when we do our dungeons and stuff. Everybody check your food, check your weapons, take your scrolls, all the things that you're going to do before we go into the dungeon or a trial. Bewitched sugar skulls are really cool when you get that recipe from the Halloween event, which is coming up, by the way. I'm excited about that. That's one of my favorite events in the game. But you see that's a good tri-stat one. Part of what's good for that for me is, even though I'm a tank and I need a lot of health, I use both stamina and magicka in doing the stuff that I do as a tank. So having that restored, all 3 of them, is really good too. I ran out when I tried to do this earlier. I realized I'm out of my crusty bread. I can get about 6,000 back for crusty bread. That's stuff you can just find lying around. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to make it. You don't have to use resource on it. Every dungeon you go in, you go over to the table, walking around in the towns, out in the wilderness, crusty bread is lying everywhere. Reach down and pick it up if you're tank. It's a good one. This is a purple one. This is a green one. And you can see it gives me 6,608 health back. So just whatever food you do, put some on. Every little bit helps, and don't forget it. It's like a free buff. Why would you not take it? There's the Crown Refreshing Drink, stuff the game gives you for free. The Crown Fortifying Meal, you get those on your daily login rewards. It's easy. Grab them. Just use something. And early in the game, the stuff that you can find on the ground is that you can upgrade your skills and make stuff like the sugar skulls when you make those, and those are really good. And then so food, that's a whole nother session for another day. Slot of items. Okay, potions would be the other one. I use the Crown Tri Restoration Potion. This is the one you get if you daily login rewards. Pop that. It's almost 10,000 health right away, plus over 7,500 magic and stamina for me that gets replenished immediately. And I also get major fortitude, major intellect, major endurance, all that stuff. So those are good ones to have. And you can see I've got 108, 200, 144. I've got a whole bunch of those. That's just from login rewards and stuff like that. And just saves having to go and make them. But you can go and make stuff. Here's one of the ones. I think I find this one. Yeah, I didn't say I made this one. But that's another one you just find lying around. Essence of Health, 7,800 health immediately, plus major fortitude. So there's lots of stuff in the game. Don't forget to have some potions slotted. If you don't know how to slot the potions, one of the easy things to do is just try, figure it out. I have mine. You can see it down there, 447 of those down in the bottom center to the left of my skill bar. I keep those there because I got hundreds of them and they're free. If you're doing a vet dungeon, vet trial, you might want something that's a little bit better. You might go something that's all health and get one that does 10 or 12,000. I can't remember what the highest health one I can make is, but this character's skills are all maxed out with the crafting. This, for a lot of people, I'd tell you, if you're new to the game, what can you do? Learn how to craft. Pick up your crafting ability, open those up, do the little quests to learn how to craft, and then just do your daily crafting ones. There's a board in every town. Do daily crafting, you get maxed out, because when you can max those out, you can go down here and make all kinds of stuff. I was trying to think of one that I know how to make. You can see I've got everything unlocked, by the way. So there's that one. Let's see. There's oh, that's cowardice. No, I don't want that. Butterfly wing. Essence of Health. See, there's one I can make with just the base thing and 2 of my resources, and it gets me 9,800 health immediately, major fortitude as well. So making your own health potions is very easy once you get to that. Columbine, you can see I added the 3rd one. It doesn't make the potion any more potent, but it does make it last longer. So adding the 3rd piece to that gives me 5 extra seconds from the 47 to the 52. So there you go, right? Just like that. Make your potions. You can take them with you, and usually that means I get 4 of them because I have that skill upgraded. So in tanking, don't forget your food and your potions. They're just as important sometimes as the sets that you build and wear, and the skills that you have set up in your build. This is what I do. I'm not going to say this is the best way to do anything, but you will find when you do your own things, you will develop your own play style. You will develop certain characteristics that you like, and you'll find out things that you don't like, and you'll take those off. So go get some weapons and armor that suit your play style, suit your tank style, and all those kinds of things. There's lots of really good tank sets in the game. I chose these just because I did. And like I said, I don't think they're the best, but they are fun to me, and I wear them, and they're good. I got a chest in here of some other ones. Mazatoon, Heartland, Juggernaut, Nightmare, Undaunted Bastion. This is a bunch of these come from dungeons. Some of them might come from trials. Durok's Bane. I used to wear that all the time. That's a good one. Just a whole bunch of extra ones. You can see the Yokita. Yokita is from a trial. That's a good one. Dune Ripper. Dune Ripper's an early one that you can get. Oh, it's one of the ones I wore when I first started tanking. You can get that out of Vollenfell, which is one of the earlier dungeons you can get. You realize as you're leveling up, you can't get access to certain dungeons until you reach certain levels. Vollenfell is one of the ones you can get early on. So Dune Ripper's a really good one. There's another good set in there too. The Treasure Hunters. It's a DPS set, but it's a really good one. But Dune Ripper's a good one. You can run Vollenfell and get that one, and put a good tank set together with that one. The Ebon one that I wear comes from Crypt of Hearts, and that's another one that you get fairly early on. And I just put a whole bunch in my bank.
How can I help?
Show these right up here. I got a million things in here. Let's see. I'm trying to remember some other good ones. Their tank set. Livewire is another good one that I ran early on. That's a Clockwork City set. It's an overland set, meaning you don't have to go into a dungeon to get it or into a trial. You can just go to Clockwork City. I know that's DLC, but it's one of the old DLCs. Let's see, Mad Tinker's awesome. That comes from Clockwork City too, but it's not a tank set. Cyrodiil's Crest comes from Cyrodiil PvP. That is a really good tank set. You look at that, every time you block, you heal for 10,000. It happens once every 4 seconds. So that's a really good one. They just keep wailing on you, and you just keep staying alive. So Cyrodiil's Crest, that's a good one. Durok's Bane, I might have mentioned that when I wore it early on. That's a good one right there. Major Defile. It's part of your Defile build. You hear people talk about Main Tank and Defile Tank. That's what that is. I'm kind of a hybrid of both. I do both Defile and Main. So you reduce either the amount of damage that the enemy does to you, or you increase the amount of damage they take from you when you do Maim and Defile. Juliana's, let's see. Eternal Yokita, that's good stuff. Plague Doctor. Plague Doctor's another overland set. I forget where that one comes from. It's in the upper right. It's over in the red section. It's not in Skyrim. It's not... shoot, I forget that one. But Plague Doctor's a good set. Whatever zone that comes from, there's 3 really good sets. All the overland sets in that zone are really good. So Plague Doctor's a good one. Max health, max health, max health, max health. So, you know, what is the thing about being a tank? You got to stay alive. What helps you stay alive? Having more health. And so this is a straight up nothing but max health set, Plague Doctor, and it's a fairly easy set to get. I will think of that one. I can't remember the stupid zone. Sorry about that. Anyway, that's a good one. Let's see, there was probably another one. Cyrodiil's Crest, Yolnacrim, we talked about that. Plague Doctor. I had a whole bunch of these in my inventory and just put them in here a little bit earlier today. So I had a whole bunch of spare tank sets, and it was taking up my character's inventory. So I decided to put a whole bunch of them in. Automated Defense, that's another one. There's a good one there. Automated Defense, I think, also comes from Cyrodiil. What is that? Yeah, it's bound, so it's probably Cyrodiil. Max Health, Minor Aegis, add Healing Taken. So if anytime you can increase the amount of healing that someone does to you, that's a good piece to have. That's a good one if you're going to be running dungeons or trials or arenas. So you can see there that that's what Aegis is all about, reducing the damage taken by those. So that's a good one to run there. But your ultimate ability is another part of this one. There's not many of the sets that I would wear that scales off of or enhances the ultimates, because you only use your ultimates once every so often. And some of these normal dungeons, I might not use my ultimate at all, so the bonus of having all 5 pieces might not be a good one. But if you're doing vet dungeons or any trials or some of the harder arenas, that might work for you too. So that's a good one there for that one. Plague Doctor's a good one. Cyrodiil's Crest. Anyway, so we talked about a bunch of them. There's lots of good sets in there, so we might do another stream that focuses mainly on the sets. But anyway, so there's some follow-up to the Tank 101 that we did the other day, showing some little more details about the sets and the setup, the build that I have to run the tank. Again, I'm probably not the best in the world, but I just wanted to do this to share with people that no one knew how to tank. I had to kind of learn this on my own. All of my peeps that taught me how to play the game when I came in were all damage people and healers, so they didn't have the tanks. But I learned how to do some of this stuff from other people helping me and kind of learning on my own. So I wanted to do this so it's helpful to other people. So Anyway, that's about it for this stream. So if you have any questions, feel free to message me and reach out. And thanks for watching, and happy tanking.